reconstruct the argument or reconstruct the question. Another example of that, again, we'll go back to the, excuse me, the pro-life, pro-choice is, again, the pro-choicers, sometimes they frame the argument is when is life created? Is it initially at conception? Or is it at birth? Pro-choicers argue that it's not at conception. Or pro-lifers do, and as soon as they have the DNA to support life, that's when life begins. And to take that, to end that life is immoral. So they say it's their pro-choicers say, it's my choice, you can't tell me what to do with it. So there's just different kinds of tips and tricks on just how to frame your argument. Again, it really depends on your audience and your situation, so do keep that in mind on any of these suggestions or advice. Some of the don'ts of debating and arguing is you don't want to get personal. Too many times I've seen, whether in personal life or even competitively, where one opponent start losing and they know they've lost. And when they run out of facts, they start attacking me personally or attacking their opponent personally. As soon as you do that, you really lose credibility with judges or even with your opponent, because they know that the argument's over. You no longer can support facts or evidence. You can't bring any new arguments to the table, and thus you've lost. So you attack and get personal. One, it's very unsporting, and it's not good sportsmanship, I guess. And I've seen it, and I've even done it, and you kind of feel bad about it. You don't want to make personal attacks, especially if you're arguing with friends or family and not competitively and with people you're never going to see again. So I guess that's one thing. But when you start getting personal because you've lost an argument with your spouse or your best friend, your mother, it'll really tear relationships apart, because people can tend to hold on to grudges. So you really want to be careful to stay calm. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. And never make personal attacks, because you lose the argument, damage relationships. Another trick, it's really on the don't side, is don't get distracted. Some people will start losing an argument and then they'll try to veer down a tangent. For example, we saw that in the clip. Is he was instead of talking about vanilla and chocolate ice cream, he veered off and went to liberty and freedom and choice. And if you're doing that tactic and you're diverting the argument, that's one thing. But if you're on the other side, you can't let that happen to you. So you see yourself, as soon as you find yourself noticing that your opponent is trying to divert the argument or trying to change the parameters of the argument, you really need to get them back on topic. Like, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. We're talking about vanilla ice cream. Can we stay on vanilla ice cream? Why is chocolate better? Or why is vanilla better? Don't let them sidetrack you. Don't let them go down tangents. Because what happens is they'll take you down, and they'll even line up some soft floater pitches right in your wheelhouse that you know you can crush the argument. But as soon as you do that, you know it's a trap. You know you're walking down a path that they have ammunition for and retractions and counterfacts and statistics to prove you wrong. So don't follow them. They're trying to guide you and goad you into following their argument down their path. So that's the path they either have practiced or they know more about, and that's the path they're going to win. So we kind of be careful with that. Stay on topic. What I've seen done, again, both competitively, and I've seen my friends do it at bars. So that's really where I do a lot of my argument, is bars over bets and who's going to buy me a drink. Is I see people water down their arguments, and when I say that is they bring up they have three really good strong facts and evidence that it's really hard for me to counter, but then they bring two really soft iffy facts that I can counter, and I have counter statistics for. and I can really prove those wrong. And what happens is when you bring in weak statistics or weak supporting arguments that I'm able to attack and disprove, is I now have a base of, well, I proved two of your 5 things wrong, we haven't proved any of mine being incorrect or unfactual. So if you have 3 great ones and 2 leave the 2 at home. Only bring arguments that you know you can support. Another couple tricks and tips that you can do is, I had an example, but I seem to have lost it, is to exaggerate your opponent's position. Great. So if you're trying to be sporting and don't do this trick, but if you're trying to be fun or funny or want to make a kind of a fool out of your opponent, great for bars. Maybe not great for relationships or friendships, but it's funny if you're on the giving side. Is you can over-exaggerate an argument. I'm sure you've seen it or even done it. Is let's go back to the ice cream. That's vanilla. Vanilla is the best ice cream ever. So I'm like, oh, so vanilla is the best ice cream ever. So you would eat it every day for every meal you've ever had. So the only thing that ever goes into your mouth is vanilla ice cream. Is that what you're saying? And they say no, because they can't continue to just eat vanilla ice cream the rest of their life. So you exaggerate so in such a manner that it's ridiculous and never real. It's purely hypothetical. But as soon as they say no, you've won the argument. Because then you can counter, well, why wouldn't you want to eat vanilla ice cream? You just said it's so great. Well, because it's not the only thing I want. So you just said that vanilla's not the greatest. And thus you can prove wrong. So you kind of see where I'm going with that. Sorry, I lost my place in my notes here. So I guess to kind of just sum up is remember where your argument's being held or where your debate's being held. Is it just between you and some other person? Or is it between you and someone projecting toward an audience? Because your skills will change. You don't want to make a fool and damage relationships. But you may enjoy themselves or I guess be entertained. Or even informed, if you're having an informal debate and spirited argument. Some of the other don'ts. So remember our do's and don'ts. We don't get personal. We do stay calm. We do keep our emotions in check. We don't belittle our opponent, regardless of how silly or ridiculous the facts they bring to the table. And I know I got family members who I really want to belittle when they bring stupid stuff, but we don't, because we're sporting, we smile, nice, even, calm tone. And with that being said, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of this. And I hope you have enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.